Good morning, everybody. The ducklings are about 2 weeks old, so I'm starting to think about getting them out to get fresh air. But I've got this really nice no-climb fenced pasture, but I can't just use this because we have a family of hawks that lives right over here in the woods. And then I have an eagle that'll come and get in that one pine tree. So even though I have this fence that's really secure from four-legged predators, I want to make sure that, especially when they're little, the ducklings have plenty of protection. So we're going to use all these things I've kind of had laying around and try to build them a little 8x8 run for during the day when I'm not there to supervise their play. I'm going to remodel this shed that I haven't been using very effectively. I think I'm going to leave a couple feet here in the front for storage and then frame out this inside area so that they have a more like a 6x6 coop. But we'll see, I'll get it figured out. I just gave the girls a bit of an upgrade. I gave them a wire spool that was left over from the goats, and they just think it's the best thing ever. Got a hen who is very happy about laying right now, but here is our progress so far. So I just put some deer netting over the top in case I get like a snake or something else kind of smallish trying to invade, and then I'm going to put panels on top of that so it's waterproof. Then what I've got here is a bit of a gap that a snake could potentially get in, so I'm probably going to block that up. I went with a small incline just to help with water runoff, and hadn't figured that into my original plans. I don't know if I mentioned I am not a carpenter, so I hadn't figured that into my original plans, so now I have a small spacer up there. We've been painting. I'm also not a painter, so it was a little drippy. I think we needed to stir the paint more. So we painted the wood to help it last longer because it was not pressure treated. And on the back, what I did with the gap is I put some more of the mesh over it because, again, like a fox can't get in there. I'm just worried about snakes. So I'm waiting on the rest of my mesh to get installed. So it looks like I've been standing on my head because I have, but the ducklings are finally out in their new little shelter so they can play securely without me worrying about any hawks getting them. Just want to show you how pretty my boys are. These gentlemen are living proof that you can hatch eggs off of eBay. I had gotten 18 eggs. I only had the 2 boys. Oh, we found a wormy. They're sweethearts with me, but a little feisty with other chickens. So I tried to integrate all 6 of my chicks that are about the same age. And these 2 guys are basically in solitary because they were fighting with my other 2 boys. What you doing, pretty boys? They're self blue, kind of like a self blue splash. If you can see there, they have kind of a pied pattern between the blue and a kind of a light yellow orange. They were supposed to be porcelain or Millie, and they just didn't turn out porcelain or Millie. That's a twig. Dude, that was a tree branch. You were like a dog retrieving. You got the tree branch. You thought you had the worm. You were so excited. I gave them mealworms this morning, but apparently there are never enough worms in the world. You guys are silly. They're such cute boys. This is Patrick, and that is Bob. I really did not want to name them after SpongeBob characters, but unfortunately these things happen. If you've been watching some of my videos, you know that I bought these from the dollar store, and you can see I've got mustard babies coming up, and I've got spinach babies coming up, and my other set that I have closer to the house have lettuce coming up really well in them as well. So far they're a success. These are the babies my other guys were supposed to be hanging out with. Hi, sweetie. That's Time. She came up to see Mommy. Didn't you, sweetie? That's Parsley beside her. And that little guy in the front is looking for a home. He's an extra rooster. And this sweetheart is Rosemary. Hi, babies. You can see they're like super tame. It's just genetics, I think. I raised them all the same, and these guys are just downright obnoxious, aren't you, babies? So here's the garlic I put in the fall, and I did a kind of an experiment where I put the Ag 19 fabric over this garlic and not my other garlic, and this garlic grew a lot bigger. And then, of course, we've got our fava beans. They overwinter to produce a crop. So you can eat the tips if you want, or the beans. I usually don't end up doing either, to be honest, but I grow them because it's kind of fun, and if I did need them, they'd be here. And this was my pretty much failed experiment. Old Alabama gardener had talked about starting onions in the fall, and in his zone it worked out, but in my zone you can see I've got one spindly, sad little fellow. My bok choy has gone completely to seed, as you can tell. So it's not really edible anymore, but I'm leaving it for the bees. As you can see, my perennial kales have been very happy all winter. One of them is going to seed, but so far the rest look like they are not. So hopefully they really will be perennial. Just want to show you in the greenhouse, my dwarf blue kale, my turnips, my one red beet, my kind of sad purple kale. Again, arugula going to seed. It's too hot in here for them. And some nice lettuces and my spinach. It's been pretty warm at night, and this greenhouse really holds in the heat. I've even got the windows vented. So everything's gone a little wild in here.